Welcome back, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Seems Pretty Legit. This is the podcast where we dive deep into the metaphysical, the mystical, and everything that makes us feel more connected to the universe. I'm Vincier, your host.
And I am Riot, your co-host.
Yeah. All right. So listen, man, we're gonna do something a little different. Even with our last video, man, I think that was a bit extreme.
It was heavy,
and I loved every minute of it. But it may be time to just really connect with you guys on a different level. Maybe time to open up a little bit. And yeah, it's Miss Riot's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Thank you. So I'm just here, y'all. I'm really not working. I'm off. So I'm just, emotional support co-host today. But I might say a little something.
Yeah. So there's some things about me that I know that I want to open up about, because I know that I want to connect with people. I want people to know who I am. I'm not a fronter about my feelings. Shout out to the Fish Gang, Pisces. We don't play with that. We don't play with our feelings, man. We tell you straight up.
The good ones do.
Right.
It's a lot of
the ones
twisted Pisces out here.
Yeah,
too.
There's some that are very deep and dark. Some of them are on a different path. How do we say? I don't know. They're just we all going through our things, right? So
we are.
Whoever they are, shout out to y'all too, man. But y'all know y'all need to be owning y'all stuff, man. Straight up. And I am somebody who likes to own my stuff. Throughout my life, I have had people come in and out that taught me lifelong lessons that mean me well, and some not so much. But I'm always up high, looking low, just like our Father who art in heaven. You understand? You have to separate yourself from your situation sometime to understand where your life is going. We're all here to learn these lessons, whichever lessons you need to learn based on the decisions that you make. You understand? The decisions that you make are predictive for the outcomes that you expect to have. So you should always be trying to make the right decisions. You find some people, man, they're good at faking it. With me, I don't have a poker face with that. Because I'm super confident about myself, and some people will mistake that for arrogance. And I used to mistake it for arrogance too. But there are some points where, I could have been arrogant for sure. But at my heart of hearts, man, when you bust down who I am, I'm somebody that's just gonna be real with you and tell you what's on my heart. Agree or no?
Yeah. He's gonna tell you, whether you want to hear it or not.
That's a fact. Because if I don't, man, then it's gonna be on me. And then I gotta sit here and try and hold it in or fake it.
It's a lot of people that say that kind of stuff. I gotta say it. I gotta get off my chest. I gotta talk about it.
And they don't be talking about it.
And they do. Some people do. Some people get this stuff off their chest, but then they're not great communicators. So then it comes off wrong, right. Or, things like that.
Right. And I fall victim of that too. I'll give you how I'm feeling in the moment that I'm feeling before I'm even out of the neighborhood sometimes. I do that. But I mean well, man. I have had a lot of changes in my life, and I'm super thankful for them. From 2017 all the way up until 2022, I lost at least one family member or a friend. A lot, and some in life. People are gonna grow or refuse to grow. There are some people that refuse to grow. And one thing that I also learned, that we're all here based on who we are to break a pattern. We're here to break a pattern. I'm also going to tell you about, my near-death experience. In 2021, I almost lost my life. That pandemic thing. 2017, I started working as an adjuster. I needed the experience because I was building something that I want to build, man. That same one of the friends that I lost, he's like my best friend, man. Before then, I was like, hey, let's do something. Let's create something together. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I was helping an ex-girlfriend at the time. Like in my family, we've always had cars, raced them. On my father's side, race people, man. Race cars, man. Like, some people go play baseball, some people watch football. Nah, we're turning wrenches and we're doing burnouts. we're putting the race car on the trailer, getting it ready, or we're getting cars ready for car shows, stuff like that. And she would ask me, questions. I had a girlfriend at the time, she was an adjuster. She would ask me questions. I would help her out with her claims, and I was really good at it because, yes, I know cars, And so I started, just everything started perpetuating and leading down this thing. And I noticed that throughout my life, like, everyone in my family, we're all entrepreneurs. Like, we own our own businesses. That's the way we operate. That's the way we run. And maybe there's a certain confidence that it takes to actually jump off cliffs and actually brave it and do it. Fortune only favors the bold, right? So I started building this thing, and I wanted it to be a device at one point. But after talking with a mother figure, shout out to you. You know who you are, and I love you. I really do. You are an amazing woman. Great. I love you. I miss you. I really do. I'll give you a call, maybe. We'll see how that goes. But yes. I've always had, throughout my life, the way I grew up, came from a divorced home. So, the first 6-7 years I had a father and a mother in the home, and that was one of the strongest things that I ever had. He was my stepfather. Shout out to him. A strong moral compass. Always, doing the right thing. Doing the right thing when no one is looking. It's really important.
It's called integrity, guys.
Right. And sometimes we fall short. Everybody does, I think.
Of course, we're human.
But always aim to do and be righteous. And there were some things like I fell off on a couple of times, for sure. Again, I'm not perfect, but guess what? I own my shit, and I can tell you where I messed up. I can tell you everything. There's no shame in me in that regard. My life, all of our lives, whether you paid attention to it or not, like, all of our lives are meant to be a testament to somebody. Isn't that how the Bible went? Mm-hmm. Something happened. It was written. Somebody made mistakes. We learn. We fall short, but then all of a sudden we get the glory.
All the time. So many stories in there. And I think a lot of people get that, they get that wrong. Right. It's like, oh, okay, well, I follow Christ and I'm a Christian, right, and that means that I don't make mistakes, right, and that's so false.
And some people do and some people don't. Some people will say that, some people don't. But you know what? Like, the biggest judges, the biggest critics, the biggest ones are sitting in these church houses too.
All the time. And I mean, I guess my thing about that is when we're talking about making mistakes in the eyes of God, you know, that's something different. But when we're just talking about making mistakes amongst each other as human beings, we all do it.
Right.
And I say that even if you think that you're doing everything right, you're being a good person, you have great intentions, you could still be offending someone else who views life different than you. Right. So it doesn't, you know, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it's like, you have to consider that. Sometimes we get caught up and we're like, I'm not a bad person. I did not do this. I didn't do XYZ. And you didn't, but that's not how they saw it. That's not how they experienced it. You know, how you felt and how you had intentions on what you were doing was completely different than how they actually experienced it.
Right.
And that's okay. You know, like, which is why you're supposed to, what we have already talked about before, having, you know, grace, forgiving people, having compassion, because we are all going to mess up. You know, you could be, I don't know, one of the best people out there. You could be a man who is very noble, who don't talk a lot, who's not overly boastful and braggadocious, who has a very honest job earning his money like a regular person, who takes care of his family, who is always there for his wife and kids, but he could very well still go out in the world one day on a regular day, minding his business, and come across someone who he did one action that he typically always does. It's nothing different or nothing, you know, that's out of the ordinary for him in his life and his behavior. But that other person feels some type of way about it because that's just not how I see life. That's not how that's not what I'm used to. Now you offended me. I don't like how you said what you said. I don't like how you did what you did. I don't like the way you parked your truck in my parking space. Who do you think you are? You know, kind of a thing. That's really a lot of our issues with each other.
Right. So, back to you know how I grew up. It was I had that, you know. So it was something that I always wanted, you know. Again. And after that, you know, I had parents that had divorced. I mean, there's, you know, that happens, right? And from there, I had to, you know, I was shifted around between, you know, aunties and grandmas and aunties and stuff like that. After living with my mother for like a couple of years, you know, up until I was maybe 9, 10, somewhere around there. And then from there, you know, stayed with an aunt or two, and experienced a lot of things, you know, but I was already like, I was a bad kid. I was a troublemaker. And we'll go into some of those stories maybe when I have my cousins actually tell it, because if I did open my mouth and tell you these things, like, you wouldn't believe it. Grew up seeing a lot. And always had crazy dreams, things like that. Stuff like that would come true, and then you're like, what the hell is that? And then meeting certain people, people who had different gifts. Now that's kind of weird, but you know, you're playing basketball in the neighborhood, somebody just stops and they get out the car and they're like, hey, it's something about you. You ever had anybody tell you these things? But I mean, it happens to me. It happens to me a lot. I always meet people that'll tell me that there's something about me that is special, and blah 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 blah. And you're gonna have this, and you're gonna have that.
I've always gotten that I was so wise, and I'm old.
I was never a child, man.
And all this other stuff.
Yeah,
you're very intelligent.
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
You know.
And with that, like, I would have like I'm, you know, 16, 15, 16. My friends were like 30. My friends were older. And, you know, and maybe that's the effect of, you know, single parent households. I didn't come back to my mother until I was 16. By then I was already grown. But nothing that, you know, my mother, like, I literally took care of myself. And some of my cousins will be able to attest to that. You know, not for the sake of embarrassing anybody in my family, stuff like that. I was just always the odd one out, but I've always had like people that came in. This is my son. You know, like that was pretty cool, and they looked out for me like that. People from all different nationalities. So some people like, you look at me, you're like, hey, what is he? You know, and maybe that makes me, sound a little, offish or arrogant or something like that. But I always had people, like, seriously, that came in my life and gave me sound advice. Don't do this, don't do that. You're gonna be great. You are great. You're easily coachable. The way you do things, like, don't do this, don't do that. You can't be like them. Even though you've seen those things, don't do that. But 2017, I began work for a certain company after working a couple of catastrophe storms. I know we had Harvey. So it was Harvey, Irma in Florida. Worked, learn those things. But then I cut my stint short because I knew I needed more of a foundation. So I went to work for a certain employer as a staff adjuster while I was building what I was building. That first week of the training, I had lost my nephew. First day of training, I lost my nephew. Teenager, in middle school, just started playing football, and I was told by my stepfather, no, stay, because at first, the employer was like, hey, do you want to go back home? And I had priorities. I had a mission. I didn't want to stop that. But I knew, like, my whole thing is always charge ahead, bucket, work, do the work. And I had understood what I understand now is that, man, sometimes, man, pushing through without dealing with your feelings, without dealing with yourself, it's terrible advice. It's terrible advice.
I absolutely hated when
Yeah.
people be like, well, you just got to get over it, or you just got to move on. That's not how life works, guys.
Listen, guys.
And y'all really got to stop saying that to people. That is not how life works. We are human beings.
Right.
Things last and they stay in our body. They
Right.
stay in our mind. If we don't deal with it, we have to actually do the work.
You're going to feel things that you haven't felt if you keep pushing. Okay. If you keep pushing yourself like that, you can break yourself.
That's how y'all be ending up with autoimmune diseases and stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That stuff gets in your body and stays in your cells. And
I
then
mean,
what?
what's weird? It's like when you like people who are older, who have been together for years, and when one person passes, it's like that person
The other
is
one's gonna pass
getting ready
because
to.
they are connected. And then there's this true thing. Broken heart syndrome is very real.
Yeah, you can die from a broken heart. You can truly die from a broken heart.
I remember I almost felt like I was going to die from a broken heart before.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I just thought that I was being dramatic at that time. It was just like, you're being so dramatic, you're not going to die. But I was describing it to people like it physically hurts.
Right.
I didn't, never growing up watching it on movies, you just think that that's like a phrase. My heart is broken, but it literally hurts.
Right.
And it was like, oh my God, it feels like somebody knocked the wind out of you. Like, you just want the pain to stop.
Right. So, I had, I pushed through that a year before that, or a year and a half before that. My uncle, my favorite, man, my uncle, man. Shout out to Uncle Eddie, man. Man, my Uncle Eddie. Well, I mean, Uncle Frank, man, I love my uncles, man. But, man, me and Eddie, we just connected on different levels. So many stories, my uncle, man. I'll introduce him in the memories that we had, going forward, man. I may say something random, something funny, because my Uncle Eddie, man, he was just the coolest, all right? But he was battling colon cancer. He had caught it at stage 4, and like we didn't know, Here I am, like. How he had told me, he was like, man, first he was like, man, I can't, man, my number twos, man, something going on, man. Like, damn, man, I don't know what's going on, man. I said, man, you need some X-Lax, do something. Get some diuretics, man, do something, man. You ain't drinking no water, all the damn tea, man. Stop drinking the damn tea, man. He was like, hey, man, nah, man, hey, all right, man, look, go do that. I say, hey, but you know what? They got one of them things, man. One of them things you can just prop your legs up on now. What was that one thing where they had that damn, that unicorn in the commercial? Where it's like it goes underneath the toilet. I don't know what's the name of it, man. We'll find.
I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, but you put your legs up and it do work. Hey,
it definitely does
it
work.
Works because that's.
I had to start using one last year.
Hey, it works. All right.
Because we're not supposed to be using the toilet sitting down. That's unnatural.
Yeah.
We're supposed to literally squat.
so
like the animals.
He was trying to do that. It didn't work. It didn't work for him. And then he was like, hey, man, I went to the doctor. Where you at? I say, he said, sit down. I'm sitting down. He's like, man, they told me I got this. They told me it was stage 4, man. But I ain't tripping, man. I'm going to beat it, man. And then, he's a mechanic, man. He was like, man, they can just cut that out and cut that other piece out, stitch that piece together, and that's that. And they weren't having it. They weren't having it. Not to be too vulgar or anything like that. But the cancer was like almost the size of a hot dog or something like that. So it was like way too much. He was like, man, that just means I'm a shit faster. He said that just means it's gonna drop faster, man. Just cut the shit out, man. But man, I don't know what the hell they talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard people getting half of their intestines removed,
but they ain't want to do it for him.
Having a colostomy bag.
Straight up. And then he was trying to dodge that right there, that part.
I mean, I know someone who had one for a little while, but she didn't have to keep it forever. She doesn't have it anymore.
Man. So that was that. I lost him. And then my best friend, he's like my brother, but we had he had some family issues, and I was there to support and stuff like that. He lost his uncle, and man, when any of my friends hurt, I hurt. My friends, they cry, I'm crying. I love my friends, man. I love people. I love my people. I've always been genuine with all my people, man. If I cut for you, I cut for you, and I'll give you my best. If you take advantage of that thing, man, if you push and you push and you push, it take a lot to piss me off. But when I'm there, I'm done. Well, man, I'm telling you, a lot. It takes a lot, man. A lot of that stuff it ends in abuse. Like, you'll be abused trying to be there for your friends, and they'll think you're gullible. And a lot of times you're just like, man, you just don't understand. Like, I care about you. I was taught by my grandmother to love people the way Jesus loved. But at the same time, man,
I was taught the same by my grandmother too.
Like, that's even harder for you. Like, I didn't have the boundaries that I thought that I should have had. Now, if it was somebody on the street, the old me, like, man, no, if I don't know you and you try me, boy, I'm gonna mash it in all the way, because I don't know you. Mm-hmm. That was an old me, knew me, I ain't for it. I really rather just walk it away. But if you touch me, that old dude is still there. That old dog still there. That's 6700, baby. Southwest A-Leaf, Texas, baby. Hey, but nah, let me stop, man. But no, seriously, man. When I lost my uncle, man, your uncle isn't your father, according to company. So bereavement, there was no such thing, and I didn't have the PTO like I should have had. I don't think. And again, like, I'm a workaholic, man. That hurts. But we buried him. We had his funeral on a work day. I left work. And now, again, man, working as a claims adjuster and stuff like that, man, we are somebody else's Superman every day. Some new person, Superman, every day. But when you break, you know, who's your Superman? You know, it takes a strong family too. You know, adjusters, again, we give. It's how we leave our mark. And plus, we adjust, you know. And one of the sayings I would say in life, like, man, hey, really in my core, like, I'm an adjuster, so I will adjust. But on a work day, I left for lunch, carried him, put him in the wall, and I went right back to work. And I didn't take the time that I needed to take. So I want to let you guys know that take your time. Man, it's just one of those things that really makes me emotional. Thank God I just caught my tears. But I went to work, and I kept going to work because I was running from the grief. And until I couldn't run from the grief anymore. And then 2020 happened, and I was building this thing with my friends. I was finally ready to, like, you know, get it to the forefront, start putting paperwork down. You know, everything had been done and negotiated between me and the coders, and then I brought them aboard. These gentlemen, with good intentions. My friend at the time, you know, he's my brother, man. He's my brother, but he never wanted to come or commit, and I didn't understand anything about the whys or the why nots. Like, it was like a soft attempt, but there was never a follow through. And I just kept going, you know, and he told me to just keep going. So I just kept going, you know. I just kept going. And then I got into a relationship with an old fling that disappeared on me. And we started this relationship. And 2021 came around. I had stayed in my house the whole time. I wasn't sick or anything like that. And we really rushed into that relationship. We shouldn't have did that. Fools rush in. But
and they do say, why do fools fall in love?
I don't know.
Better stop being
Because love is love, man. Shit. Love, man. Look, man, I love love. I learned a lot about love. I learned a lot about showing up every day and being there, you know, being present and learning from your failures. And also I learned a lot. We'll talk about relationships soon. I'm going to talk about that, you know, eventually. But in 2021, I took her down to Miami. And we were going to go chill. It was our first trip together. And I caught COVID. She and I both caught COVID on the flight. And maybe I shouldn't even say that. Like, maybe I don't even know. Can we even say that word? I mean, I've been seeing people saying it.
No, I see people saying it all the time. He caught the vid.
Yeah, caught the vid. And I knew, like, my immune system, you know, I can't even say, like, I don't get sick a lot. Not at all. But I caught it. And I didn't know. You know, you never know until you get tested. But, like, it was, I mean, it's warm weather and you feeling sluggish and all this and all of that. And the people out there in Florida, man, they were walking around. Some of these people, they just had like a plastic mask like a shield, and it was like fly. Like when I tell you it was fly, fly shields.
There was people here selling them like beauticians and stuff. People, stylists, hairstylists that was doing that.
Man, it was nice looking. I ain't gonna lie, but they didn't have no mask or nothing like that. And I think we know that mask didn't work. If you got it, you just got it. You know, and
got it right through the mask.
Right. My job was to take care of her. You know, so here I am walking the strip, getting fluids, making sure that she's okay. And then we somehow, you know, had a good time doing it, you know. But when I got back, I was really tired and weak, and water tasted terrible. And here I am like, okay, this must be like, you know, some of the reactions, because I heard people can't smell, people can't taste, you know, this is what's going on. And when we got back, we quarantined in a room. Now, I was supposed to go back to work on the 15th of March, 2021. And that was a Monday. So the 14th of March, I was asleep. I went to sleep, and I didn't have enough PTO, so I couldn't take no time off. So I was gonna go, but fate had a different plan. The last thing I remember in the house-based setting, I was in my bed, and my lips were so chapped. They were thin. I knew they were thin, but I didn't care. All I wanted to do was sleep. So I turned over. I pulled a piece of skin off my lip, because I'm always peeling my lips, man. My lips, they gotta stay soft, man. So I peel my lips. Like if they get dry, then all of a sudden the skin just wants to come off or something like that. You know that. I'm sorry if I'm being a little too detailed, guys, but like you know, this is me, man. So I peeled. It was thick skin. I just did not care. I didn't care if there was blood running or anything. I was just like, man, I'm just going back to sleep. I'll deal with that when I get up. Carmex, whatever. I'll be fine in a couple weeks or whatever. And I just went to sleep. When I went to sleep, I didn't know what happened. So I'll break it down into two phases for what I assumed happened. My girlfriend at the time grabbed her nephew, and they got me dressed. I think they put a pulsometer on me, and I guess it dropped to like 66. She called her sister. Her sister, from what I understand, I don't know, like somehow they got me to the hospital. But what was happening on the other side, I shot through a tunnel of some sort, and then poof, big lights, and it's like stepping into knowledge, if that makes sense. Like there's no more mystery. The place smelled like my mother's hands, and the love that you feel there is so thick you can breathe it and eat it, like a unexplainable love. I also lost my grandfather. I could feel him everybody that you have lost in your existence over lifetimes, they were all there. Your ancestors are there waiting for you. But it feels so good, y'all. Like, my uncle, he was like my chaperone around the place. So I was kicking it with my Uncle Eddie, man. Worlds within worlds. Spheres before you. Like spheres, like worlds. Like the Bible says, like there are many rooms in my Father's house. If I didn't say it, it wouldn't be true. Or if I didn't say it, it wouldn't be so. Like so many, like, and it was beautiful. And I'm standing on the edge of like this platform, just beholding this one place. And I could feel my ancestors, but physically I couldn't see them. Anything you wanted to know, or if you wanted to see something, you're instantly there. Like seriously, like you're instantly, like, you know. It's different. There's no belief. There's knowing. A lot of us walk around here and we say we believe and we have faith, and that's cool. But I'm telling you, I know, man. And my uncle's like, man, look at all of this, man. But you ain't seen mine. Boom. And then all of a sudden, we're in his place. And his place was the body shop. The shop that I had been going to. I had got back around my family on that side when I was like in my 20s. And the body shop was a place I was at. Like, I lived there. Once I was there, you know, and connecting with my people and understanding myself and understanding like my family's history. My family has a different type of history. And I know, like, you know, in, you know, our community, black, our people, like my mom's side, like, you don't have all that lineage. You don't have the history of who you are. Mm-hmm. But other cultures, because I'm biracial, we knew our history. And there were things that I was connecting with them, and they were telling me all these stories, and here come the proof, like artifacts, man. The people, my family, like, it's a crazy story. But we were contracted by the Queen of Spain to go down and settle Mexico, like to bring people on ships and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, we even have pieces of the ship still in our family. Like, yeah, at the certain body shops and stuff like that, like there's little pieces, little remnants of stuff, you know, that are historical markers for my family on that side. And his place was the body shop, and it was like purple skies, like fast clouds moving over it. And all of his hot rods that he had built were there lined up. And even my car was there, and I hadn't finished it. But we used to argue because I was a young kid. I didn't care about AC. I just wanted to race the car. You know, it was a rite of passage for us to build an engine and to put it in a car and paint it and to do whatever. And I didn't want an AC in the car. I didn't care about an AC. You know, here I am. I'm in college. I didn't care about that stuff. Had AC in my Beamers. I didn't ever run it. I always run the windows down because I want to hear the exhaust. You know, if you're a car guy, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you want to hear the engine do what it do. And so I didn't care. And that cam, boy, and they were small block people. You know what I mean? Chevy folks, man. My family, GM people, man. Big engines, small engines with big cranks. Okay, we could talk about these engines all day, man. They stroked out or de-stroked, one or the other. It's not just a regular car when they build them, you know. So he was like, "Hey, man, you need to put this AC in this car. You need to finish this car." He's like, "Man, when you get back, you need to finish it." And I could still feel all my ancestors around me. It was like every one of them had a hand on me. Every one of them tell me that they love me, that I'm protected for what is to come. When you get back, I didn't understand it. I didn't want to leave. I did not want to leave. Like man, dude, like I did not want to leave, man. I can't wait to go back. I no longer feel deaf because I know where I'm going. It's not even a mystery to me anymore. So I really want y'all to know.
I can wait. I'm sure it's an awesome place.
Amen.
You know, and I am tired of here a lot of times, but yeah. I can wait.
And but there was even some parts where I was ripped between two realities. Like there were some times where I would close my eyes and open them, and I'm floating in a room overlooking myself with 6 nurses working on me. They're talking, you know, trying to get the catheter in, trying to do this, trying to do that. And I'm watching all this stuff, but then I close my eyes and I just go back. It's weird, man. Once you're there, it's like you can check back and check back and check back and check back. It was just really, really weird, man. And I was afraid to tell anybody about these things. And I know I jump back and forth in my story, so apologies. But it is how my mind runs, you know. But when we were there, it was like you just knew all kinds of things, all the mysteries that you wonder about when you're here, like they're answered when they're there. It's just knowing. There's no more myths, you know. Now, I didn't ask a lot, but the things that I did know, I know now. And that's why we have to treat people better. We truly have to treat each other better because we're dealing with ourselves. How you love complete strangers is truly how you love yourself. When I got back, I didn't understand this. You know, I couldn't make sense of things. But he told me, he was like, "Hey, when you get back, nephew, put an AC in that car." No, but yeah, that's what, like he would always stutter on those, like whenever you say no, like no bull. You know, I ain't gonna curse, but this is what he would say. You know, no, you know, I've been saying shit, so can I say it?
I don't see why.
He would say, "When you get back, put an AC in that car." No, bullshit. Hey man, my uncle, man, you tell you quick. Hey boy, you slicker than that shit, man.
Yeah, it's cold here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's why I got my hat on. That and because it's my birthday and I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah,
and it's cold here.
It's cold out here.
Houston is cold.
Yeah.
And don't y'all do all that talking about, oh my God, it dropped a couple of degrees and y'all act like we live in the desert, people.
Is it the desert or is it the swamp?
Nah, desert, the swamp, all of that swamp mixed together.
You know why it's the swamp? Because in humidity, we cook on the inside.
We do. So we are not used to this.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah. So
goodness gracious, let us bring the sun to you and cook you, and then you tell us how you feel when you've been frozen half the year.
Right.
Okay, it's the same.
No, so yeah, man. So And I felt like a push on my shoulders. Boom. And before I knew it, like I shot back through like this yellowish, goldish, reddish tunnel.
That was the sun.
And I don't know what it was, but like I shot back through, and before I knew it, I woke up in the night nurse. Like I didn't know who I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my name. I didn't know anything. Like I couldn't formulate any words. So I have a sleeve. I have tattoos. My tattoos are about the dreams and the peace, and it's very multicultural. I love the world. You know, everything. There's something on my arm that's African. There's something on my arm that's Indian. There's something on my arm that's Asian. There's something on my arm that is about the galaxy. And I didn't get tattooed till I was like 37. So I waited a very long time. Sorry if I don't look it. If I do, I don't know. Sometimes people tell me, man, they tell me I'm younger than I am, you know, but I'm lucky. Black don't crack.
Mine's starting to crack because I be sleepy.
Or no, I'm out there, man. I'm back in the streets, man, getting my bread. You feel me? Nah, but the night nurse was just talking to me, and I didn't understand anything. I thought I was Asian. I'm literally not. I thought because all I saw was this dragon that's sitting right here, and I didn't know who I was, guys. Like it was like something, who I was there, and I had to catch back up. Like it was very weird, guys, very weird. But I scared him because they were getting ready to, like, they were like, we thought you were getting ready to, you know, like you know, it wasn't, you know, but then they were like, just something happened where, you know, everything just stopped. So, meanwhile, in base reality, or if this is base reality, my organs were shutting down. I had fluid on my brain. My heart was pumping syrup. My blood, they couldn't pull anymore. They were going all up in my fingers with, you know, butterflies, not even on the palms. Like they were really trying to get them. Like if you see my hands, like there's a lot of veins, and they were trying to get whatever they could because they were doing like blood labs and this, that, and the third. And I was getting like, you know, needles injected in like my belly button to keep things like okay, or from clots. There was a lot of Eliquis, all kinds of stuff. Like, you know, I was little. I was supposed to, and the doctor, when he came in early that morning, he was like, "Sir, I don't know what happened, but you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason." I'm going to show you how special you are. And I mean, I'm here with a tube in my mouth. Like, I don't understand any of this stuff, you know. I'm a fighter. So they had me shackled. When I woke up, I was shackled at the wrists and the ankles. There was just something in me that just started fighting. And things just started coming back online. My blood sugar shot. It was way high. And that's what the doctor was telling me about. And even though I had COVID, I was still breathing with a 94% oxygen rate. I had COVID and pneumonia. I had COVID pneumonia. All that stuff was on my chest. But nothing was killing my lungs. COVID was killing everything else. It almost had me. In then I didn't understand like why, you know. I didn't know much, and I was scared. Like I just didn't know like what my life was gonna be like after that. The doctor said, listen, like the sugar scale like ends at 289. Do you want to know where your sugar was? I was like, okay. He said, you know what, look. So he had an endocrinologist come in, and he said, guess how much before I tell you. He's holding the plaque to his chest. He was like, guess his sugar number. This man was COVID pneumonia. He's getting over it. I mean, they look like astronauts at this point, like yellow hazmat astronauts. They had all like, you know, like it was pandemic, full blown. Like, you know, they had on the respirators hooked to their back, and they're talking. You see the hose coming up to their helmet, and they're like, man, guess how much? Guess how much? 300. Nope. 2 more. Give you 2 more guesses. 400. Nope. 600. No, sir. His blood sugar was a 1400. You had COVID pneumonia, sir, and your blood sugar level was a 1400. You could have had a stroke at 300. You could have had a heart attack or stroke at 500. You could have been alive. I have to edit that. You are a medical.
He almost went to the upper room to stay. I mean, he did get there, but he was about to stay. About to become a permanent resident of the upper room. That's what was going on.
Yeah. So, man, they told me, it was like, you know, you're here for something. There's something that you're supposed to do. You're here for something, sir. I don't know what it is, but there are people in the next rooms that have half the things that you had to fight, and we don't have an answer for them. We don't have an answer for them. I was like, that Sunday, March 14th, I was 236 pounds. When I checked in, when they put me in the hospital, they weighed me. I was 185 pounds. I had lost that much weight in a matter of hours. Like I was literally like shriveling up and going. You know, shout out to my ex at the time, man. Like seriously, no, like what you and your family did for me, I appreciate it. Despite whatever, you know, y'all had a big hand in saving my life. You know, she told me that there were even people praying for me all over the world, you know, and prayers work. Prayer works. Because again, like when you speak it, that's why we really have to be careful. I know I harp on that, man. What you say is very important. You could change the molecular structure of yourself with words. You could change the molecular structure of water with words. Because words are sound, words are vibration. And the intent on the word is...
In the beginning, there was the word.
Right.
And the word was God.
Yeah. The intent of those words have it's important, man. It's important. I want you guys to understand like who I am. Like, you know, the only way to connect with you guys is to first diffuse myself. You know, I can't expect you to want to connect with me or Riot.
Y'all ain't gonna never get to know me. You might as well hang it up.
Capricorn. Listen, man. I'll help her with that. I'll try. I've been trying a long time. But we're better. We're better people. We get better every day. Right? Every day.
I'm not in competition with nobody and nothing else except for myself.
Yeah.
The person who I was yesterday.
Yeah.
The person who I was 5 minutes ago. That's the only, y'all be worried about the wrong thing. Worry about who you was 10 minutes ago when you just said what you said and you shouldn't have let that come out your mouth. That's what you should be worried about. Okay?
Right.
Don't be worried about what XYZ did to you and this, that, and other. Hey.
Right.
Who were you 20 minutes ago when nobody was looking and you went in there and you touched somebody's stuff that you wasn't supposed to touch and you know how that person is about their stuff and then you still lied about it? Who was you then?
Right.
That's what you need to be worried about.
Right. So here's something that I know now that I didn't know then. Or maybe some of you have heard these type of things, but I know that while you're here and you don't have the experience that some of us have where we almost lose our lives and we see something that we haven't seen before. We see something that the world hasn't seen before. Now you're perceived as somebody who is weird. I want you to know that it is impossible to know all the mysteries of the universe. You were locked here with your 5, maybe 6 senses to only 3 dimensions. For the reason to understand how to love without the full understanding of your connection to spirit or God. I'll repeat that. It is impossible to know all the mysteries of the universe while you're locked in here with your 5, maybe 6 senses. Some of us do have these things. To only 3 dimensions for the reason to understand how to love without the full understanding of your connection to spirit and God. You come here and you don't know anything on purpose. You're brought here to remember, to do the work, to remember to get back to his bosom. Period. We are all so special because of where we come from. Where we come from is a place I can't explain it. I can only tell you what happened to me, some of the things I saw. And ever since I've been back here with my people that I've met, people that I cut off.
How you know I'm alive? How you know that? You don't even know. You think you back.
Man, I mean,
was there any seals there or dogs or whales? All right, or bears
so while I'm standing on this platform, no, it was like I was outside of many different worlds. And what was happening was you could see lights, like lights that you just automatically knew that they were souls. Whether they were lesser souls or whole souls, but they were moving inside and outside and inside and outside and inside and outside. And they were doing it like this. They were just cycling in and out of these worlds. It kind of looked like an atom. It looked just like an atom. All these souls, you just immediately knew it was souls checking in the world and it was souls checking out the world.
Like the movie Soul. I love that movie.
It was something.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it. And I seen it. My ex, she had the most amazing kids, and after seeing it, I'm crying.
I did the same.
Crying.
It was a pretty good movie.
Like, I'm proud of myself, and I'm not sitting up here crying.
That's a really good movie
for the internet,
and it had.
I'm lucky as hell right now. Man.
The main character that he made that movie, or during that movie, is when all that stuff was going on with him, where he was having his own experience about the movie he had just made.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Man, get a new president tomorrow. Oh, hey, we'll talk about that later.
And don't you edit out that face.
No, look, let's leave that there. Look, we're talking about this. We're supposed to be talking about, this near-death experience thing, and the importance of loving yourself, but understanding things, man. Guys, another thing that I'm unfortunately going to just say, because there are some people who are on these different spiritual paths. Man, y'all be careful with this stuff. But yes, is there a right or a wrong path? Who am I to judge? Be you, do what you do, choose what path you're going, whichever way. But you will pay what you owe for the things you do while you are here. That's universal law.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
It's karma, and we are all karmics on this planet. So as long as you understand, you are here to learn how to love with compassion and give it freely in your life. You are progressing God's divine plan to experience Himself within you. Okay? Again, you're brought back here because you chose to come here and learn the lessons that you need to learn. That is the reason why we have deja vu, because you were already here doing it. And
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a
So
big
when you
talk with
catch up,
myself when I get back.
when you catch up to your
Girl,
timeline,
don't you ever do that again.
yeah, when you catch up to your timeline, you feel it, and you're like, "Whoa, I did this before." That's because you did, and somewhere along the lines, you messed up,
I used to have a lot of deja vu.
or you're like, "Oh, I gotta go back and get that lesson." Some of us, due to free will, snub ourselves out of experiences that we should have done. I don't want to make any more mistakes. There's no such thing as them, because you're going to come out of the path that you have to go based on the choices that you make.
Sorry.
If you knew that, you shouldn't have struggled, or you're worried about, failure. You're worried about doing well or always getting it right. You're not gonna get it all right. But the lesson is, how do you come out of those lessons? Okay, how do you reflect and account for those lessons? Some of us dodge failure, or we're afraid of failure, and we'll never live because we're too afraid to fail. I, on the other hand, don't view things like that. Your failures are the unplanted mustard seeds for your greatest future triumphs. I'll repeat that. Your failures are the unplanted mustard seeds of your greatest future triumphs. I failed a lot. I failed a lot recently. And I'm so proud that I did, because in the failure, I found myself.
But they didn't pass. They went to that special room in
Right.
the sky.
But while you're here,
awesome.
Right. But while you're here,
You ready to go back?
while you're here, right.
But you better not.
I know what I gotta go do. I got orders.
All right then.
I got orders. But
And they, guess what? All they went to do was go up there ahead of you so they could be working on some things on your behalf, on the background, to make sure that you get done what you're supposed to get done. We're all here working together.
The people that pass away, they become your warriors on the other side. They become your protectors along with the archangels. They become your your spirit group, man, your spiritual team, man. They watch out for you.
And they made that choice long before they came here. They knew exactly what they were going to do. So for all you people that be out there acting ugly with your family and stuff, acting like, I don't want to talk to them no more, blah, 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 blah. They may have already signed up on an assignment for something for you. Y'all better get it together and
Some
check
of
your
us,
hearts.
though, I tell you what, some of us are sent here to be curse breakers.
No, that's right.
Some of us, I'm somebody to always tell the truth. And the truth, again, the truth ain't really all that popular. If you ask me something, because like, I know like in my family, like, you know, I'm viewed away because like they figure that nothing ever happened to me or whatever, or, oh, he think he better than everybody because I could stand on the truth. But I could also sit there and I would tell my family like, hey, look, this is where I messed up. I messed up here. I made this mistake. And you're going to find that there are some people who just can't do that. They got to always look right in front of everybody. And for you people who do this, you're really showing me, people like me who really see, is that you have a lot of unhealed things inside of you that you need to work on, because you have to always hold up this appearance of being perfect. Ah, man, you're not. You can have some family members that'll only help you to get this high. Some may not even let you to their waist. They could do a lot more for you. They can work with you, but they don't want you on the level. They don't want you to surpass them, because this is the only thing that they base their value on. And some of them will do a little, they'll help you a little bit. They'll help you just enough.
It ain't just family, it's your friends too,
so that
sometimes.
They can control you, or they can control a group. and if you finally start saying no, you're an outcast.
Hey y'all. Well, I'm an outcast,
if you say no, that ain't right, you're an outcast. You can't be a leader in certain family groups. You have to go along to get along. I know all about that. But I'm somebody who, again, like, I'm to be led by nobody. Nah. Nobody but God. Nobody but the man above. And the way I see him now has a lot to do in synchronicity. There's no coincidences here. This is actually the dream. This isn't reality. I hope y'all understand that. You guys think you live in reality, and it's not. This is not real. This is the dream. You're here to perfect yourself. You're here to perfect yourself. I don't even know how to explain it any better than that. When you guys see angel numbers, when you see repeated numbers, 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, 1111, all these numbers, 1212, you see these stuffs, like if you Google them, like there's a meaning behind those things. But God speaks to us through symbols and signs. Call me a kook, whatever. But this is how he speaks. He's too big. He don't have time to speak to you like that, but he'll throw you something, you know. When you are righteous, when you do good things, good comes to you freely. When you speak life into people, man, it's it's an outpouring of good energy. Good, man, people would know you.
Now raise your hands of how many of y'all know this, but y'all just choose not to do it every day.
So people, man, we just gotta treat each other right while we're here, man. You know,
Like be happy, be light. Don't take everything so seriously. Don't take everything so personal. Like, be like me. I'm just kidding. Please don't be like me. Anyways.
No, but okay, so I'm really off on a tangent, man. But again, that's the way my mind works. I'm sorry. Like, it just is what it is. I hope that I don't bore you too much, you know? I hope that we are just trying to connect with you. Like, I want to connect with you guys and laugh with you guys. Like, when we start, like, you'll get a different character out of me, you know, again. But I'm trying to be really as serious and sincere as I can to let you know that, like, we are all here, all one energy, all are from love. What I saw out there, perfection. I really don't have words. But one of the most important things that I was trying to do, and I tried to do it with my family first, was show them the love, trying to replicate what I felt while I was out there. And friends, I just tried to do and show people what I felt, and I tried to be accountable, man. When I came back, man, I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I slipped. I made mistakes. Man, you're my best friend, you know, and I made mistakes with you, you know.
Good thing I don't be taking life that serious.
Whatever.
I do for probably I say maybe 12 hours or so. I'll be like really in my feelings. I cry, you know, I do all of that stuff. I go and I sit in the closet, I cry, I feel sad. I be like, oh God, why me? And all this. But I get over that, and then I be like, okay.
You know, like I said, I made a terrible mistake. One that I tried my best to fix. And we'll talk about relationships, because again, man, I am not ashamed of who I am. Again, your failures are your greatest reasons to come back, man. You gotta own it, man. You gotta own it. And I believe in making my mistakes known, to hold myself accountable. That's who I am. I've had a lot of times where, you know, those older friends tell me where they messed up, what they did wrong. Maybe it's an old school thing to be real that way. But I need somebody out there to learn from my mistakes. Some of us are not reading the Bible like we should. Some of us don't believe what's in our books. But I can tell you what I did. I'm a living, breathing, carbon-based, electromagnetic ball of love. And I can tell you where I messed up. I'll be the first to tell you what I did wrong. I am not perfect, man. I'm not perfect. But you fight and you try every day to be better. It's the only thing. It's the only thing that matters. What are you going to do in the next minute, the next hour to be better and not repeat the mistakes and be habitually that person? Mm-hmm. Show the God in you. Show the love in you. Be there for people, man. Show up for people. Hold your boundaries. Learn what boundaries are. Don't be an overgiver. You know, love yourself. You also have to remember that there's no grace for your feelings and what you go through at the end of the days in somebody else's eyes. But love a life where your sovereignty is never compromised. And I had just learned that lesson. At my old age, I had just learned that lesson. Sometimes you can just overwater a plant till it's dead.
I do it every time. That's why I ain't got none.
You know, like, I mean, I just want to be as authentic as I can with you guys. I know that there's somebody out there that was going through some of the things that I was going through. Having a spiritual awakening, understanding what that is, going to therapy, trying to sort out your stuff. I was there trying to make sense of it. When I got out of the hospital, I was different. There were like, and I guess maybe like they say, like, because of some of the side effects, you would have like ringing in your ear, stuff like that. I was having like, I have an impeccable memory. I don't forget anything that happened past, but short term, it was like, what the world? Like, I can't remember what you told me like 5 minutes ago. Like, what is this? I was snapping on people. I made a mistake with my ex's family. Like, we were having like a family game, and at first I was happy, but I made a mistake competing, and I hurt someone's feelings. And I snapped. I was so upset. I was upset because I felt like there was like it's like a trigger. I now know that it was like PTSD. Like, there were things that were actually going on that you have to deal with when you have this near-death experience. You have to learn how to be in the world and deal with that. Like, I don't even like popping firecrackers anymore, you know, because I think about our veterans that had to deal with a lot of
people are just so
a lot of shots out there, a lot of pops and bangs, you know.
Inconsiderate. They do it all the time.
And
y'all
then,
don't
like,
think about how many of them are in their houses, literally.
Right. And it took some time for me to even want to be in the range and stuff like that, because I'm also a 2A all the way type person. You know, I'm a Texan. You know, and I love building. I'm a man's man. I build stuff. I love it. Give me some 2x4s. I'll make something, you know. It's just me, you know. I'm really good with my hands, really good with my head. Like, I create things easy. A lot of things come natural for me. I mean, I'm always challenging myself, always inquisitive about things. And there's nothing that we can't do. Like, you can do anything. You're only limited to what you tell yourself you're limited to. Straight up. And hey, listen, like, if you guys like would check out our merch, I created all this stuff, man. And I did it like within like 2 weeks.
He's talented.
You know, I just be doing stuff, man. I mean, it's just is what it is, man. But I don't know how to explain that. But I learned this. Everybody's jealous of what you have, but nobody is jealous of how you got it. You gotta learn. You know, you gotta do stuff. You know, it is what it is, man. But I went through, after I made that mistake with the family, there's really something going on, Vince. There's something going on. Hey, man, I called everyone that I offended. apologized. And I went and I searched for therapists. I had to go get check that, go check myself, like straight up, to the point where I had my therapist. Shout out to Angie. I tried to get her on the show one day, but I graduated from therapy because I'm willing to do the work. Man, when you know that you have, some of us, man, I feel compassion for you guys who do not understand that you have problems, and you think that man, you can sit back and you can watch somebody after you work on yourself, okay, I know where I'm, but you got people that do not want to see themselves, man, and sadly, you will be right back here going through the same stuff, catching those deja vu moments. You're gonna go through the same stuff. Back. They probably do, but there's some. We'll talk about that spooky stuff, but there's some who actually want to stay here.
Yep.
Man, listen. You don't know what's on the other side of where we're going. In our real reality, I can't explain it, man. I can't explain it. This is so temporary. And most people just waste it every day. You know, we go to work, we do this, we do that. It's like powers that be want us to keep our heads down. They don't want us answering that. Man, I'll show you some stuff. When it comes to our religion and how Saturn is a mug, man. Y'all gotta really understand these cosmos, man. Some of y'all, you refuse to do it. For the sake of editing, let me move right here. So look, you're gonna have this our cross, right? But it can be broken down to 6 sides, and then it turns into
a cube.
That. This is the box that they want to keep you in based on this cross. And God is so much more than a cross. Man, I know it's a symbol of the reminder of the sacrifice and whatnot. But I kind of Can
we have this conversation on a different episode? Because I got a lot to say about that.
Yeah, we can. But then when you see the other religions, and we're not going to go that far, but when you see the Kaaba and how you're supposed to move on a pilgrimage around it, like what they're doing. They're walking around a cube. Cross is a cube. There's so many of these cubes around the world, and they put it all in your face. Oh, there's so much to discuss. And we'll talk about these things, but when you understand what this cube is, when you understand what the prison of some of our religions put us in, when really you're supposed to operate out of your heart with pure love, man.
That's why it says, that's why it's a whole phrase that says, think outside of the box.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're saying.
They know exactly what they're doing, and they're playing you. They're playing you, man. But
all day, every day. Let me know when y'all ready to stop getting played, and we can really have a conversation.
Man, you gotta go within, man. You gotta find the God within.
I love y'all.
You got to, man.
I love y'all. Y'all gonna make me laugh. I already know. Y'all probably like, you the one making us laugh, but no.
Yeah.
It's mutual.
You have to love so well. Man, the way I love is so fulfilling that it'll cause you to fake it in front of others, yet suffer in silence from the sting of its absence. Man, we have to be better to each other. I will always try to be better to people. But I back to this therapy thing, man. I graduated from it, and I even tried to like go. I ran right to Kelsey Siebel. Like, hey, I need to talk to a doctor to get like an MRI or something like that. There's something going on. I'm hearing like these ringing in my ears. I have short-term memory, like something's going on, stuff like that. I need my head checked out. Like something's going on. And this was like, because I just got tired of hearing those rings in my ear.
Oh, I hear them all the time.
And you end up finding out that these rings are spiritual meanings. These are pretty much like,
I call them my downloads. So usually when they start, I just stop what I'm doing and listen in.
Yeah, the
and
dreams.
About a couple of days later, bam, some random message comes in my mind, and it's like,
like seriously, man. Like, follow your first mind with things. Like you're gonna receive everything that you need once you ask God to do what he really supposed to be doing and leading you the right way. And your ancestors are all on the other side pulling for you, watching for you. They're trying to communicate with you. I ain't even lying. Like, it's for real. It's a real thing, man. When I tell you, man, over 10,000 of my ancestors watch over me. I'm lucky, man. I'm lucky to have seen what I saw. I'm lucky to have felt what I felt. And my new friends, man, they're so lucky to receive this version of me, because now that I understand why I love the way I do, why I care the way I do, why I treat people the way I treat people, I will always give you my best. And it take a lot of disrespect to make me turn my back, man. I don't think I'll do that anymore. I had a lot of people try and play in my face just for being me, trying to have a good heart. I didn't know anything about narcissism and empaths. I didn't understand any of those things. But remember, we're here to break patterns. And when you catch the pattern, you end up finding out that you basically were feeding a lot of energetically low people that need your energy. That, like, sometimes you don't even know, like, you're competing with them. It's a competition. Like, it could be somebody that you're in a relationship with. Why am I competing with you when I'm fighting for us in the world? Like, I shouldn't have to compete with you. Why are we making molehills actual mountains? We're not fight. Like, what is this? It's not worth it. What are you doing? Don't do this. What's this about? I didn't understand any of that stuff, man. I didn't understand any of it until I started to do the research and I started to see how people treat people and then how to assess those situations. Gray rocking is a real thing. You don't feed somebody that really starts the drama for you to partake in it and just try and fix everything. They're getting a kick out of you trying to fix stuff. They get a kick out of they get a kick out of starting the problem and watching you trying to fix it because they're empty inside.
What does that sound like we just went through? Created a problem.
Man,
because he's empty inside.
Oh Lord, look. We'll talk about TikTok and the president soon. Boy, she's on his neck.
So if y'all have any questions about what abuse looks like, you are in an abusive relationship with your government every single day. That's exactly what it looks like. Exactly.
So look, man. Back. See, like I said, we're going off on tangents, but back to the deal, man. This lady, man, beautiful black doctor. She was like, okay, look, I'm gonna sign you up for this place. She sent me over there. I went over there and I walked in this place and I'm walking and it seems like here I am. I'm thinking I'm going to get a CAT scan. Man, she sent me She sent me to a shrink. Man. I was like, yo. So I'm sitting in there and people just looking. They like looking at me. Here I am. I'm just fly moving around. You know, I guess they were like scanning, like, is he okay? Is he a flipper? Will he flip out? I didn't know what it was, but I went in there and I didn't know where I was until I went there and I saw all the degrees on this doctor's wall, man. Man, it was psychiatry, masters, blah, blah, blah. From this, it was 5 of them. I'm sitting over there like, yo, you sat in there a long time. And we went through all these memory tests. I told them what was going on. And they were checking me for everything, man. But it came out to be the same thing that my therapist told me. She was like, listen, what you went through, it's a trigger. So PTSD, you almost died and you have to try and make sense of the reality of that. So that trigger brings up anxiety. Anxiety shoots. And it was so many, when I tell you it was so, I had lost so many people all the way up until it was early 2022. I was going through like at the end of 2021 going into 2022, there was a lot of therapy. She was like, anxiety, and because you don't understand any of this stuff and you don't have any control over those things, you're trying to control everything because you're slipping, you're falling down the rails, like you're trying to fix yourself.
That's why y'all gotta
you're holding on. You're trying to control the outcome because you're somebody who's always like in control. You fall into depression because you don't know how to do it. So PTSD, anxiety, and depression, like these are the things, and this is what you have to work through. And I'm going to show you how to recognize these things so that you can deal with yourself. And shout out to you, Angie, because I don't have those issues anymore. Like I understand what they are, you know, and yeah, we can't control anything. And I was having to deal with like, okay, yeah, I did almost, you know, so that failure of, you know, making a mistake with a family member led me to accounting and apologizing. This is the person that I am. And then we do the work. We go and assess the situation. We crawl, we fight every day for normalcy. It was so real, man. It was so surreal, man. I know I gotta go and mute those words out. Unalive. There was so many people unaliving, man. It wasn't cool, man.
There was so many people going to visit the upper room.
Yeah.
That it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was otherworldly.
Yeah. From, like I said, my nephew, I lost uncle. I lost my grandfather. My best friend, my brother at the time, man, he had lost his uncle, man. I was there. I was there with the family. They were my family, you know, there for me, man. I had lost a lot. And then, after going through therapy and like it prepared me for the big ones. So in 2022, February 2022, I lost an uncle, man. My uncle, my Uncle Henry. And then in June, I lost my aunt. She was like the baby of the family, like right there next to the baby of the family. Lost her, my Auntie Deborah. And at that funeral, like all the crushing family losses, my cousin, so if I had a cousin who lost her son, you know, that was like you know, further back. but like just the accumulation of all those things, and like nobody passing in your family for years, you know, to just start experiencing these things, and you having to keep it all together. It was something else. So June, she passed. We decided on we basically had a funeral for her like a month or so later. Like, it was a tough one. Her husband, like, you know, I know he didn't want to, you know, let her go, you know. But at her funeral, me and my father, like my biological father, we just looking at each other like we couldn't even say anything to each other. We could not say anything to each other. We just looked at each other for about 5 minutes. We just couldn't even say anything to each other. And then August, you know, here I am, like, accepting these things. Like, it seems like them passing, you know, I learned how to deal and how to let the love of my family, you know, in that way, in order to embrace those things, embrace loss. And then August, my cousin was supposed to come over, but he showed up the day before, and he was like, I'm like, yo, I'm surprised to see you, man. Like, what's up? I thought you were coming tomorrow, but you spend the night tonight. All right, all good. He's like, man, hey, man, man, sit down. I sat down. What's up? Okay. Hey, what's up? Your dad. Okay. And now, like, all the things that you wish that you could have said in those moments were the only thing you could do was listen. And my dad, like, man, listen, man, for as wise as I am, or for as friendly as I am, if I talk that shit, it'll have you it'll have you like, shut up. You'll want me to shut up because it itches. It itches in a place you can't scratch, man. And I got all of that from him. Man, he had a talent for talking that shit. I ain't gonna lie, man. He had a talent for it. So I was trying to make sense of that, you know. And then, like, our relationship wasn't the best of relationships. So why am I feeling this way? Well, that energetic tie is going to be what it is. When you feel it, you feel it. Man, I can't explain that. Like, once it's cut, it's cut. But the beauty in that, I had this, I had a different kind of relationship with my biological mother because of the fact that I wasn't raised by my mother. I was raised by my family in the streets. And, you know, these mentors who kept me just out of trouble had enough to see it. I experienced some things. I've done some things. That's why they're things that I would never do, because they're things that I grew up partaking in and witnessing. You know, you just never know about the karma. And you know what? When I have my cousins on, we'll have these conversations. Because it's therapy for the soul, man. I hope that I'm speaking to somebody by just showing you my story, so that you can show your story, so that you can be a real person with the people that you love, with the people that you could be trying to make or about to make a mistake with. Like, take my story, learn from my failure, so that you can deal with yours. Man, there were plenty of nights where I was up crying, trying to figure this out. know, why did I have to do the things that I had to do? It's my walk. There is no shame in my walk. And because there's no shame, I am free. Free to go do whatever I want to do because it's my world. Just like it's yours. It's your story. It's your world. Own it. Own it. Do what you have to do. Do what you have to do. And if it's something that you have to confess out your mouth, do it. Because you're only making yourself a slave to your secrets. And those things are just figments. Like they're not even real. Like you let things own you. Hey man, we'll talk about a lot of this stuff, and I can't wait to connect with you because I know how to feel people. I feel energy. I can be on the phone with you and feel you.
The beautiful thing is we're not going anywhere.
But let me finish this. I'm getting to a really important part. August of 2022, I lost my dad, and it forced me. I had a long-standing a beef with my biological mother because I had passed. I grabbed my degree, graduated from college, and every test I took for her. She didn't know it, but I was on the president's list every semester. She knew that. I was on the dean's list. My GPA was always stellar. Every year, I had something terrible happen to me that ended up being a silver lining. What happened? It turned into an internship for an attorney, and I fell in love with law. So once I set up all the businesses and stuff like that I'm doing, once I get, it's like a child to me, man. Like once I get that back going, because I had to take these breaks, man. Look, man, when you got all this loss going on, all these challenges, all this stuff, man, it will break you down. Literally, I almost passed away, and while I was fighting for my life, some of my business partners thought it was cool to sabotage my business. That's why we're not doing business with them right now. I forgive them. We'll tell that story too. But my father passing at the time I'm gonna show y'all how good God is. My father passing away made me say, I gotta call her and bury the hatchet. And I called her, and she was in another state. Like she was on her own thing. Like she was doing her thing, man. And I called her, and we touched bases, and I ended up finding out that the only reason why we didn't speak is because of I was upset that she didn't show up for my graduation. I walked across the stage, and I mean, it was just hurt. It was just a lot of hurt. But through therapy, through the work, through all the familial loss and how to deal with those things had me better prepared for how to deal with the loss of my father. And I called her, and we had a talk, and I found out more information from her side of things, and we laughed at my dad. Like I said, my dad was a shit talker, man. He was just one of them ones, man. And he wasn't afraid of nothing. That's probably where I get it from. I get my mouth from him. I get my hands from my mom. And I'm like, my family know my mom. Like, proud Leo. Don't try it. Pop, 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 pop.
Wicked.
Yo. But that conversation, we end up healing things, and it was just in time. So August 16th, I lost my dad, and I was getting ready to introduce her to the lady. She was the love of my life. So I thought, and I had a deal like after coming out of therapy and fighting for normalcy and going through these things, I had, my partner at the time, we had lined up a deal with a big TPA on the East Coast. We were scheduled to meet in Dallas, November 14th. It was a Texas Prima conference. It's where all the insurers go. It's kind of like an expo for insurance companies, demoing products, services, stuff like that. And you can also get like continuing education hours and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And they flew down from New York. They came there, and they had a Procter and Gamble contract. Our company was recognized by Israel in, I want to say like that summer. We received a great mentor who pretty much worked on Fortnite, that basically got accepted into Y Combinator. And so we had him as a mentor. Everything was moving the way it was supposed to move. Everything was moving the way it's supposed to move. November 14th, I had a deal to go down, sit down and demo my product. And November 12th was a Saturday. I was with my ex-girlfriend. We were at her son's last Pee Wee football game. And I got a call from my cousin that I just got back into touch with. Like literally, and there's so many stories I'm going to tell you about how people move and how we do things and stuff like that, and what happened in my life, man. My life is open book, man, because I want to be an example for you guys. Nothing more. I'm just here, man. I need people out there that may be going through things to see and feel what I'm saying, man. Most important thing is love, man, and redemption and forgiveness and all the things that those underdog stories, man. I'm a sucker for underdog stories because I am one. But on November 12th, my cousin called me and she said, "I knew why you were back in my life." She said, "Where are you at?" I say, I'm at the football game. What's going on?" And she said, "I just wanted to tell you that your mom." So if it had not been for my father passing, I would have never got grace with my mom. Speaking to my mom, telling her that I love her. And I tell you, man, me and my mom, we had a funny relationship. That was the 4th time we ever said I love you my whole life. My mom was a strong person, and she felt that her actions were the things because of the way that she was raised. And I'm not like that. No chance. If I love you, I love you. Care who you are, man. If you my friend, I tell you I love you. Some people take advantage of that stuff, man, because they really know you mean it. But if it wasn't for my father passing, I would have never made up with my mom. And some of my siblings didn't get that chance. So I know that I'm lucky. In that regard, I know that I'm lucky. So what do I do? Vinny, a workaholic, man. That Sunday, I'm on the road to Dallas. Found out my mother passed Saturday. I'm on the road to Dallas. I'm in front of these people Monday. I'm demoing the product. I'm showing them what it is. We're taking videos here at the thing. Like some of the things that, or my IP does, my app does. We'll get there, but it pretty much creates a report that's faster than the police report, and it provides all kinds of data. We had did a demo right there, and the whole thing. I mean, in the back of my mind, man, my mom just passed, man. But if you tell me to perform, if you tell me to put it down, you tell me, hey, that don't matter right now, do this. I'm really good at compartmentalizing and dealing with things. The demo went well. The meeting went well. This company's huge. If you know anything about Procter & Gamble, it's amazing. Did we get the contract? No, we didn't get the contract. There was something that happened in the end where it just fell apart. But in entrepreneurship, and when you're doing things that nobody's ever done before, it's very hard. It's very hard. When in the startup world, you're going to get 1 million no's before you get a yes. Anybody building something that hasn't been done or seen before knows this. And you got to fight every day to do that. You got to hold on to it. You don't just give up. You put it to the side. You go through what you need to go through, and then you pick up the tools again. But if I didn't lose all those people and learn how to grieve, I would have never understood how to grieve for my mother and my father dying within 3 months of each other. From 2017 to 2022, I lost one or more family members and friends. My friends mean the world to me. And my family, they do mean the world to me. I tried to have a better way of showing that to them this time. But I started to see patterns. I started to understand how people control people too. And I also understand that blood don't make you family. Loyalty makes you kin. There were some people that I would have never thought. I would have never thought. Because I would never do. I would never do. "2023 was the first year where nobody passed. I'm back with my family. I'm showing them that I love them in ways I know they'd never seen before because we didn't have that. I'm proud of them and the things that they do. And for some people, it's just all about control. I'm not the type of person that can be controlled. If I love you, I love you. That part hurts. People will take your heart and think you stupid. I finally got a chance to grieve and understand my path in all of it after losing and almost losing myself. And after you start to see the patterns in people and how they treat you, how they cause problems just for you to solve them, to keep you running in circles because they really just don't have it in themselves to love you the way that you know that you need to be loved and where you deserve to be loved because of what you give. I give it all, man. If I love you, I give you the best love, man. Everybody make mistakes, man. I forgive you because that's just the God inside of me to keep doing it. That's how Jesus said to do it. I still love people. I forgive people. Hurt will create anger and yeah, I got angry. I got angry at the end because I knew I deserved more. And I finally started to ask boundaries of people. I finally started telling people no. Because I tell you that I love you, you know, or I tell you, hey, I'm gonna share my gifts with you now. This is what I feel. This is what I see. And they know it. They know that you know that you're right. And they are afraid of you because they know that you see them for who they really are. You can see it. You can smell it. After you spot the patterns, this is to every one of you who are out there that see the patterns in your family and your family don't want you to partake or be around them. They don't want you to do that. Like, this is for you. You're going to have to keep telling the truth. You're going to have to keep speaking truth to power. You're going to have the boundaries. You're going to have to give the love. You're going to have to do it. And when we go live, like, I'd love for some of you guys to chime in and just talk to us, man.
Y'all can talk to me, but y'all gonna have like a 15-minute. That's it.
Capricorn.
I do enjoy conversations, but I am not a small talking kind of person. And
yeah,
I can't last long either. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even talk on the phone like that. And it's crazy because I grew up with, like, my mom is the type of person that she can be on the phone all day from the moment she wake up to the moment she go to sleep. I have another cousin that's like that, and they both Tauruses.
Yeah.
I am not a talking person like that. My God.
Man, yeah. Look, I can be.
So
bullish.
y'all can talk to me for a little bit.
I can be bullish. I can be quick with it. Sometimes, man, I irritate my peoples. You know, I mean well.
I do too.
But yeah, they're
on a different level.
You know,
in a different way.
Man, hey, look, in the coming days, like, you know, coming weeks, like, just tap in with us, man. Just tap in with us.
Cause I'm gonna be here. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm just having a good time. It was my birthday, and I woke up sad on my birthday, so. I was just trying to finish it off, right?
Yeah. And you know, like, even for like people who are like you feel like you're stuck, man. Some of us don't even want to acknowledge that we're stuck, you know. But look, having a stuck feeling sometimes, it means that you have a fundamental need to grow. We don't see it that way sometimes. So we fall into a state of depression or addiction. Fighting to stay in place when you were never meant to stay in place. You have to move forward, you know, find something to be forward about. You know, you have to, you know, so don't feel like you're supposed to stay there stuck and stagnant. There are some people who do, man. It's all those fixed signs, you know, you know, the Leos of the world. Yeah, man, you got to adjust out of those things, man. You got to see yourself for who you are and learn how to change those things about you. you know. Again, just in closing, man, I'll just go ahead and close this out. But again, like, we are all karmics just down here on this planet with free will, ruled by Saturn. Cronus, Google it. Saturn. It is the great.
Some of y'all probably use Chronos to clock in and out at your job.
Yeah. Man,
Timekeeper.
yeah, the timekeeper. Man, I tell you, there's some things that we want to
All
talk
these
about.
companies and corporations and people at the top, they know everything. They know it all. They use it all against us all day, every day. We're all under a huge curse. And yeah, I still love y'all. I'm gonna help
So-
y'all break free of the curse though.
So again, like, we're all
'Cause I'm the only one that's not under the
karmics,
curse.
just down here on this planet with free will, ruled by Saturn, having a human experience.
Please allow people the space to have their human experience. Please.
And when you have that ego death, when that occurs, that mask falls off, right?
It does.
And you got to deal with you. It's inevitable
And
for
don't
us
be
all.
scared. Do not be scared. It's you.
It's inevitable for us all to have these experiences. You live by the karma. You live by the karma that you create as a karmic. And you'll find that some people love living lies, though. But aren't you tired of it?
No.
Are you tired? You not
I'm
tired?
not. No.
Man, listen. Man.
Of course, I don't live lies. I'm just telling you. What if somebody answer you? No. What if they
The best
don't?
thing that ever happened to me recently happened to me.
With you.
Like, just all of the passings, the death of this relationship that I should have walked away a long time ago. I realize that now. And man, I made mistakes too. Yes, I'm willing to admit them, and I'm willing to tell the truth about them. That's the difference. That's the difference. So again,
We all do.
We'll
Make
talk about
mistakes.
all of that,
make
and we're
them
gonna
every day.
get down to this Saturn thing because, again, if you look at the top of Saturn, it's doing that.
I guess we're just gonna have to have an episode.
It's doing that. We gotta have this episode. We gotta talk about Saturn. We gotta talk about how.
Why y'all think they came out with that Lord of the Rings movie? Even though I never seen it, but it's called Lord of the
And remember, I
Rings.
showed you this. So the Muslims are walking around a Kaaba, and don't that look like Saturn? Aren't they the rings of Saturn? You see it
The Lord of the Rings.
in that same box. When you take that 6-sided box and flatten it out, it's a. And then when you bumble it back up again, it's. And then if you take it and you turn it sideways, you'll see that is also the topper Saturn. That is the trick that's been playing on you. And only way to get out is to go within. You got to go within. You got to find God in here. A lot of people, they swear that they doing it. You ain't doing it. You're going to be right back here.
Yep.
You're going to be right back here repeating the same thing, having them deja vu moments. I ain't coming back. What DMX say on Belly? Next time state county see me, man, it's going to be in a body bag. I ain't coming back. Hey, listen. For real, man. For real.
And don't go into the
Get your lessons here now. Get them lessons out the way here now. Be real. Like, do the work. Do the work.
We're living at the best time. We're living in the best time
Right.
of all human history.
Right.
Because
It ain't never been the
We are
best time to be
learning.
real. It ain't never been the best time to be real. You ever see
we're
those
learning.
people?
We're more
like,
evolved than our ancestors, than our grandparents.
you remember, like, okay, so like in the church, you'll see people telling you about the things that they used to do. You'll find that, right? You'll find that, right? Like, everybody need to do that. But you
Yeah.
know what, though? You don't repeat them. Some of us go right back after we even say we doing it. No, man. Then that means you ain't learned a lesson. So basically,
Some
your
people
heart is
just
gonna
be backsliding and they just slid all the way
if you
down.
don't heal, you're gonna repeat the same mistake, and it doesn't matter what opportunity you get, you still gonna do the same thing because ain't nothing changed inside of you. Look, you find somebody that was a cheater, they cheat. Then they say they ain't, and then what they do? They go back to cheating. Or you find some people who don't really tell you who they are. The world don't even know who they are. Like, it is truly a mask that these people walk around with. But the proof is in the pudding. Their relationships fall apart. Somebody end up like they crazy and they not. Somebody blows up. Check the track record of how these people get in and out of relationships.
Oh yeah,
You know?
we'll talk about it.
Check the track record. The track record tell you everything you need to know. Man, I wish like hell I would have listened to all of the things that I saw. I should have, but I didn't. You know why?
Because you just wanted to do what you wanted to do, and you wanted
Yeah.
what you wanted. You wanted the
Yeah.
outcome that you wanted to have, and that's most of us. So when
That's
we
true.
get to a point of understanding that, just
true.
like we some little kids, you just wanted what you wanted, and because you wanted what you wanted, that's what happened.
Yep. At the end of the day, I wanted what I wanted.
and I had to tell myself the same
Yep.
thing. And when I realized that, I literally sat there and cried even harder because I'm like, oh my God, this like. This is myself, and I'm sitting up here crying. And I ain't gonna lie. After that, I kind of looked at my mirror and kind of smirked at
All right,
myself,
so-
like, "You just crazy."
So almost. Well, yeah, I did a little. I did cry a little bit, man. But y'all forgive me, man. I really
Crying is a human
gave you
experience. We just
something
talked
true.
about being human. You were being.
I didn't
human.
go through the whole thing. I know I probably need to write a book about this stuff, man.
You need to write a book.
Because
do
you wouldn't
too.
believe some of the things that happened to me while I was going through this stuff, and how the devil appears, man. And I got receipts.
I really think you should write a book.
I got receipts, man. Man, I got receipts, and that's real, man. That's real,
Gotta keep you busy.
man. Girl, I got, man. I'm on 7 income streams.
And now you're gonna be on 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I gotta finish. Oh Lord, I still
gonna
gotta
write- he
finish.
gonna write the book.
I got a lot of stuff.
It'll be out
y'all.
next year.
I got a lot of stuff.
And y'all can read it in depth.
My startup, my tech startup, still like my baby's on the back burner, but we're close. We're close to funding. Yeah. Ooh wee.
So I've been joking with y'all
Yeah.
all day. Next time y'all see me, I might be a little bit more serious. I ain't gonna lie.
It's her birthday, man. Just let her
I
go. You seen she was all like, I want to do that.
No, seriously, next time y'all see me, I probably will be different.
That's you.
Wicked.
And it's like 1 something in the morning over here.
Yeah, it is. It's one, man. Look, so let's just close this off again. Universal law affirmations, man. It's I can. I deserve. I receive, and then I share, and for that I'm thankful.
And I love you.
I'm thankful, and thank you guys for subscribing. We don't have that many, but you know what?
Y'all make my heart stronger.
Man,
Every
YouTube
day.
is a slow grind.
But I love you.
YouTube is a slow grind until it ain't anymore. And this is just a way to reach out and what Jeezy say, man, it's therapy for my soul, baby. You know, I gotta give this time. Because it propels me to move forward. If I don't make a dime doing this, that's fine, man. But if I give you something that you can attest to and change your viewpoint about things,
That's
if
important.
That's
most important.
man, people, when I'm out there in the streets, man, people tell me their life stories because that's the energy I have. I'm down to listen, down to help you out, but then also I could tell you some things about yourself before you even open your mouth. That's spooky. I get it. I get it. when you're around me, it's like
Sticky. It's getting sticky.
I see straight through people. And a long time ago, I never said these things. But yeah.
I definitely do, but I just keep my mouth closed because I would literally destroy people's. If I told y'all the truth about yourself, I'm gonna just be
Capricorn, that's the devil.
I love y'all for real though.
All right, man.
It's growing so much.
Hey, man,
Can't wait to see y'all again.
Thank you guys for hearing me out. There's plenty more to discuss.
And thank y'all for letting me act up today.
I want to show you who I am. The only way I can diffuse you is by putting down my weapons first. I'm about love. I'm about respect. I'm about duty and commitment. I'm about all of that. I'm about doing the work and helping people see themselves so that they can do the work, because we cannot keep coming back here doing the same thing over and over and over again. Aren't you tired of
Y'all
it?
about to say, ain't y'all tired? That's why y'all souls be so tired.
Aren't you tired of
got
it?
here, and that's why sometimes when you see those people who post the pictures of their babies and the babies be looking like
Yeah.
them souls done been here about 80 times already, and they like, man,
Old
not
souls,
again.
man. Old souls.
You got to be kidding.
Right. So if I can help you shorten the loop, if I can help you break the pattern, if I can help you see yourself in it, own yourself so that you can see others, because you may be going through something abusive and not know it.
A lot of people.
People go through things that are abusive and they don't know it, man.
It's so.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing that just really made me figure out I was being. We're getting ready to go on a cruise. It's the day of the cruise. You're supposed to be all smiles and happy. But you're like, I'm not packing. I'm not going on the day of the cruise. And you're like, man, why would you do this? Like, what's going on? Like, because I'm packed and you're not, or what? Man, don't do this. Why are you doing this, man? You gonna embarrass me in front of my family? Like, I already paid. You gonna waste some money on a trip? Like, I mean, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? I'm not going. Your cousin call you. Oh, we're almost on the road. We're almost on the road. All right. Why are you doing this? And I'm running, like panicking. Like, what are you doing? Like, what? And then about 5 minutes before that, 5 minutes after all of this, hoopla, she looks at you and says, I just had to make you feel it. That is abuse. That is abuse. You don't fight. You don't do it. You're not that person. Like, you don't do that stuff. You don't. But when you know what you're dealing with, when you finally figure out what you're dealing with, when you see it in everybody and you start to give boundaries, it's a problem. If you guys are experiencing things like that, emotional roller coasters and stuff like that, please leave those relationships, man.
And it's a lot of us that tell y'all these things all the time. I scroll on TikTok all day long, and there's so many people, professionals with check marks, telling y'all these things, but y'all still want what you want.
Yeah.
Still want what you want.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see y'all pull up a camera one day and sit here and feel bad.
If you guys, like, when we go live,
or you can just listen to us.
When we go live, like, there's nothing that nobody will be able to not talk to me about.
We gonna get deep.
And again, like,
and be honest.
Right.
Don't come on that live being all disingenuous and stuff. Come on there,
like,
be honest.
Let's do some work.
Be
man.
for real.
Let's see who we are. Like, we should be very, very, very in tune. The way the planet is going, the energy,
did you know
everything
all the
that's going
planets
around
was aligned? Is it today or tomorrow? All of the planets were aligned.
we'll figure
this
it.
birthday year for me.
Yeah, we need to check that out. But like when you guys are really ready to do the work, man, you just need the answers.
And you need to come here.
Yeah.
To see it's pretty
come
legit.
holler at us, man.
We will be here for you.
Come holler at us, man. I'm real easy. She's real easy. Like if it's you and your feelings, man, ain't nobody gonna trample over them things, man.
And believe it or not, I'm actually an extremely sensitive person. Okay, don't you tell not a soul. I mean, nobody. I never tell you nothing else. Anyways, love y'all.
Yeah, man. Peace, man. Let's call it, man. I can't wait to connect with y'all, man. You know, I really
guess I can.
Man. I really can. I really can, man. But hey, peace, y'all. Peace, man.